Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. My name is Veronica and I'm the creative manager here at Quilling Card. So today we're really getting in the holiday spirit and we're going to be doing a little DIY demo with our Create a Quill holiday kit. So I'm really excited to do this one with you now that it is officially December. Everyone's really in the holiday spirit, so I'm excited to do this. Don't be intimidated because I am not a master quiller myself either. So we're just gonna go explore some basic shapes and how to quill, and you're able to either follow along with your own kit, or if you just wanna watch to then figure out how to follow along when you do have your kit, you can watch this later as well. So in our kit, we have all of the quilling paper you could possibly need. So there's plenty of paper for you to experiment and play around with, so don't be afraid to just play. So here's all of our colors, and we also included a blank bookmark for you so you can practice any shapes you'd like on this before actually putting it on your card. We have all of the tools you'll need, so of course your quilling pen is the most important. We also have your scissors and your tweezers, and we have our very extensive Create a Quill instructions. So these are really going to walk you through everything that's included in your kit. It's going to provide you with the basic steps of how to quill and also all of our most common shapes we use to quill. And then it also breaks down some examples of how to quill the cards in this kit specifically. So in this kit, you're gonna have 2 gift enclosure sized cards and 2 of our larger sized cards. So let's take a look at those now. So here are 2 little gift enclosure ones. We have a snowman and a Christmas tree. And then for your larger cards, we have our stocking with some cute little gifts in there. And then we also have our ornaments, which I think are really playful as well. So I think today I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate some of the shapes in the stocking design. And the other important thing to know is that you have all of these tools and paper that you need for quilling. The only thing you need to get on your own is Elmer's glue. We use just standard everyday school glue for our designs, and that works perfectly fine and definitely holds up gluing everything. So I usually use some of the plastic that's in your kit, and I put some glue on this plastic, and you can either use like a popsicle stick or a plastic utensil to spread that around really thinly. The trick with quilling is that you really don't need a lot of glue. You just need a thin layer, so that's why the popsicle stick or the plastic utensil comes in handy, because you really don't want too much glue or else it's going to take longer for your quilling piece to really dry. So as you can see, I really spread this out thinly so you're not going to oversaturate the quilling paper. Alrighty. So I guess let's just hop right into quilling some basic shapes. So I'm gonna start off with green, and you don't always have to use the full length of the strip. So if I'm gonna do a smaller shape and it's also easier for a beginner, cut this strip in half so that you don't have to coil up as long of a strip. So I cut that green piece in half. I'm going to thread this through my quilling pen and I roll it over the edge, and then I'm coiling it upon itself. So instead of making like an ice cream cone or a tornado shape, you really want it to coil more like a cinnamon bun all on top of itself. And then once you have that totally coiled around the quilling pen, you're just gonna slide that off the end, and you can relax that shape to eyeball exactly what size you'd like for your quilling piece. And this is exactly how every quilling shape starts. So from this coil, I can make a teardrop by pinching one end. I could pinch both ends and make an eye shape, and countless other shapes. So that's just an example of kind of the really basic start of quilling. But for this design in particular, we have a lot of really tight, small circles and dots on the stocking. So what I'm gonna do is, for those shapes, instead of coiling it up and then relaxing it, I'm going to coil it up but keep it tight so that it doesn't unravel, because I want it to stay that tight little shape. So I coil that up. Again, that was only half of a paper strip. And instead of relaxing it, I'm gonna keep it really tight like that. And it's much easier if you put the tweezer through the center and hold the end of the paper strip. So that way it's not gonna come unraveled as you're trying to glue it down. So now all I'm gonna do is dip this in my thin layer of glue over here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stick that right onto the card. Now, this happens to me all the time too, and it's really common thing when quilling is that tail end of the paper wants to kind of come unraveled, but all I'm gonna do is take some glue on like the tip of my tweezer, put that on the little tail of that paper, and then hold it back down to itself so it stays attached and glued to stay a continuous perfect circle. There we go. Awesome. This is really getting me in the holiday spirit, actually. I feel like we should be having Christmas music and cocoa, and that's actually a good idea. If you want to do like a craft night with friends and family, you could get a bunch of quilling kits. We have this holiday kit as well as an insect kit, a floral kit. Makes a really great family or friend crafting project. Or you could actually get this kit to make your own holiday cards to give out to friends this year, which would also be really fun. Because I mean, a card handcrafted by you is definitely going to be something really special. All right, I'm just doing the same exact shape again with this one. I have my really tight little green coil that was only half a piece of paper. I'm again going to put my tweezer on the outside and through the middle. Gonna dip that in just a little bit of glue, and then we're gonna stick that right on the card. And again, that tail kind of wants to come unwound, but that's okay, we can fix that. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the tail and stick that to itself. Sometimes you have to kind of hold it down with the tweezer, but there we go. I think those look pretty cute. All right, now let's maybe play around with doing these heart shapes on the stocking, because I think those are really fun. So to make this heart, I think what I'm actually gonna do is make 2 teardrop shapes to make that overall heart shape. And quilling actually is a lot of eyeballing and just kind of getting familiar with the paper and how when you coil it and shape it, how large it is. So I think for this one, I'm gonna only use half a strip again. So I'm cutting that in half. Okay, I love this dark red color actually. It's really pretty. So for this one, as every quilling shape starts, I put this on the quilling pen, I fold it over on itself and start coiling this up. So now that I have that all coiled, I pop that off, and I am going to relax this one. And now where the end of that paper strip is, I want to squeeze that to be the tip of that teardrop shape. That way you're not fighting that tail end of the paper trying to wrap around a rounded edge, but instead you make it lead towards the tip of that teardrop shape. So now I'm going to use my tweezer, grab the inside and the outside of the shape, and I'm going to dip that in my glue. Okay. And now I'm going to use the bottom point to be the point of the bottom of the heart. And the good thing about this is that even when you place it on the card, before the glue dries, you can still manipulate the shape. So I'm just kind of squeezing this to be better aligned with just half the heart, so I have space to add the other half of the heart. So now let's do that other half. Thread this through, roll it up, and don't be so hard on yourself. It takes a lot of practice. I have quilled many times over the last few years, and I still am not an expert. Our quillers that do our cards go through several months of extensive training and quilling to quill our cards. So don't expect that right off the bat you're going to be able to quill perfectly. It is an ancient craft that takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience. Patience, patience, patience. All right, so just a little bit of glue on there. I have that same teardrop shape again for the other half of this heart. I'm kind of going to squeeze that tip to better fit on the card once I place it there. That one I think I had a little too much glue, but that's okay. I can scrape some of that off while it's still wet. And now I'm gonna kind of squeeze both of these shapes together so that the base of the heart, that little tip of the bottom of the heart, meets up perfectly. Cute. And the good thing about this glue is that you don't have to worry about it showing once it dries. Like right now it looks a little white because it's still wet, but once it dries it's going to be clear, so you won't notice those pieces as much at all. Okay, so I got that little heart. Now I think I want to try something a little more tricky. Let's do some blue. And I'd like to try doing a little bit more of a complicated shape. So we'll see how this goes. So this one, I think I'm gonna use a full strip. I thread that through the needle as I always do. We're gonna coil this all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna pop that off. And this I'm gonna relax pretty big. And then I really want to pinch one end first and then the other end. Whoops. And I want to get this kind of long but narrow piece. I've almost flattened the whole shape, you can see that. And what I'm trying to accomplish is this bow at the top of the present, a shape to kind of fit there. So I might actually need to do 2 pieces of paper to do that, but let's see. And I also tend to use my fingers a lot more to shape the paper, but other people prefer to really use the tweezers to manipulate and shape and squeeze the paper. It really is preference. So let's see if I can get this to wrap all the way around. And once again, you can play with really holding it down to how you'd like and further squeezing the paper while it's still wet on the card. Okay. Yeah, I think I might need to do one other piece to fill out that ribbon more fully, but as you can see, I really combined using the tweezers and my fingers to really squeeze that and warp it to fit in that shape that I wanted. So let's do one more exactly like that to finish the rest of the bow. So if you have any crafty friends, I definitely think this would be a great stocking stuffer for them or a holiday gift. It really is a very unique craft, and as I said, we have 2 other DIY kits on our website as well. So either the holiday one if you really want to get in the spirit leading up to Christmas, or if you want to give the gift at Christmas and then they can use it throughout the coming year. Either way, there's plenty of paper, cards, and the tools you can reuse over and over again. So maybe someone will really fall in love with quilling and become a quilling master themselves. All right, so I'm really squeezing this again to get that long, narrow shape. Then I'm gonna use my tweezers to dip this in the glue. This is gonna be tricky. I might have wanted to cut this in half actually to finish that one. So I'm gonna use this for the other bow. See, we're improvising. I'm still learning to quill myself. So it's all good. These are really tricky because you really have to curve and hold it down to stick how you'd like. So this one was a little more temperamental than the last one, but I think we can make it work. Just think I need to hold this one down a bit longer to really stick to the card. There we go. Yeah. So now I think to finish that bow, I'm gonna do that same shape, but only with half a strip of paper to kind of finish this little area for the rest of the bow there. So let's cut this in half. So once you get comfortable with the paper itself and the tools, as I said, it really is just practice, kind of getting used to manipulating the paper and all of these shapes you can just practice, and we have that great little blank bookmark. If you just want to practice doing a bunch of shapes over and over, that is totally fine. Or I've seen other people that do the DIY kits and quill the entire kit just using circles or just using teardrops. That's the great thing about our kits. You have this blank template, so any skill level or any shape you want to work with, you can just fill the shapes and colors with that quilling shape. You don't necessarily need to know how to quill every shape to use our kits, because right now I've only used 3 different shapes and I've quilled a good variety of different looks. So that just proves that you don't need to know like hundreds of shapes to really be able to quill something beautiful. So that did help kind of fill out this bow. I'm liking how that looks. I'm still squeezing it tighter a bit with my tweezers after I've placed that, but I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So we have several basic shapes on our stocking DIY kit card here, and I think that gives you enough to work with to kind of fill out the rest of the card however you'd like, trying out some different shapes, whether it be the ones I showed you or experimenting with the others that are in the little booklet here. You've got plenty of paper and supplies, so you could share this kit with friends and siblings and have a crafting night, or give it as a gift. It makes a great stocking stuffer as well. So these are all available at quillingcard.com, along with many other holiday gifts and decor. We have our favorite new ornaments available. There's also crochet dolls and note card box sets and plenty of other great stocking stuffers and gifts for the season, aside from just our cards, of course. But there's plenty to work with, and I hope you find something you like that you can either gift for yourself this season or the perfect gift for that loved one or friend of yours. So thank you so much for tuning in, and happy holidays, everyone.